Hello and welcome back to Financial Madness, where we look at all things personal finance. Today we are looking at two tools that you may not know about to effectively clear your overdraft and credit card debt. I'm Kozan from Financial Madness, helping you be better with your money. Pow. According to Equifax, credit card debt reigns supreme in the UK, hitting a whopping 43% of Brits in 2023, with overdrafts following closely by with 21%. These numbers shouldn't be at all surprising, especially if we consider the rise in the cost of living and with how easy it is to fall into the buy now, pay later trap with readily available credit seemingly available to most consumers. But the convenience comes at a hefty price: sky-high interest rates. Research shows that on average, interest on credit cards are at a brutal 35% APR, and overdrafts aren't that much better. TotallyMoney has found that 1 in 5 consumers, about 9.7 million people, have overdrawn on average almost £700, leading to banks earning around 1.4 billion in overdraft payments each year. So how do we begin to tackle the issue? And what tools do we have at our disposal to make it the most cost-effective way? That's what we'll be exploring today. Well, first things first, we need to understand the problem at hand. And we do that by jotting down all the debts we have and the interests associated when borrowing money. We are focusing on overdrafts and credit cards in this video, but this exercise is also good if you have other types of debt too. Now, this exercise may scare some people, and if it does, well, I'm actually sorry. Now is the time to try and overcome that fear. And that is because understanding your finances, whether you are in debt or out of debt, is crucial. And I'm always of the opinion that if you don't know what the problem is, how on earth are you going to tackle it? So get a grasp of those numbers and let's find a solution. So check your bank and credit card statements and jot down the amount of borrowed money outstanding, along with the cost of borrowing and if there are minimal payments you need to make. Now, this step is very crucial at the very beginning, but it's also worth checking in on regular occasions, even throughout this process. The next step is to see how much you can afford to pay off. And we do this by making a budget and getting a handle on where your money is going. I have a budget sheet template, which is free to use, and I'll link that in the description box down below, which is a great tool for you to track your income and outgoings. And any money left over will be used to tackle your debt. If your budget, however, leaves no room for debt repayments, revisit your spending to find ways to boost your income and/or cut costs. Time is working against you here. The more you let it slip, the more it will cost you. So let's make sure we are clearing that debt as soon as possible. You can also seek further help if you are really struggling. I have linked the National Debt Line in the description box down below, which is a charity in England, Wales, and Scotland, which help millions of people deal with their debts every day. So what are the tools at our disposal to make debt cheaper? So the tools do differ depending on the debt product, but they can be very instrumental in helping us become debt-free. But before we get into that, maybe hit that subscribe button. Starting with overdrafts. An overdraft happens when you spend more than you have in your current account. Banks typically set overdraft limits and they charge hefty fees when you use this type of borrowing. Here's where a money transfer credit card comes in. These cards let you transfer funds to another account, your current account in this case, which can be used to clear the overdraft. Essentially, you are moving the debt from your high fee overdraft to the credit card. But what's the benefit of moving debt from one place to another, I hear you ask? And that is because many money transfer cards offer a 0% interest period, making the debt cheaper than an overdraft. Now, I do have to add that these cards usually charge a one-time transfer fee, around about 4%. But in most cases, usually what you will find is that even when paying the fee, it is still more cost-effective to move your debt to a money transfer card. Let's use an example to really illustrate this. Imagine you have a £1,500 overdraft which incurs daily interest for every day borrowed. Find a money transfer card that will cover the cost of the overdraft, so in this case, $1,500. You can use comparison websites via Google search, which are a good way to look for the best deals. Look for cards where you rank a high score on the eligibility checker before applying, as getting rejected by a credit card application can negatively affect your credit score. So let's say we find a card that offers a 0% interest for 8 months and a 4% transfer fee. What will happen is once your credit card account is open, you will be able to transfer the funds from that credit card to the current account, incurring a 60% fee, which is 4% of 1,500. Now, by doing this, this eliminates your overdraft and transfers the balance to the credit card. Now, instead of daily overdraft interest charges, you have 8 months of interest-free repayment to pay back the debt. Now, the goal is to clear the balance entirely within this period, ensuring every payment goes directly towards reducing what you have borrowed, rather than being eaten up by interest. Also, just to be clear, the 0% interest rate only applies to the balance you've transferred. While you can use this money transfer card for regular purchases, doing so will incur an interest charge, and often at higher rates than typical credit cards. So make sure you avoid using it for spending at all costs. Now, in this example, we have 8 months of 0% interest free. However, what if we need more time to clear the debt? Then fear not, there is a way to extend the 0% period, which I will reveal at the end of this video. Moving on to credit card debts. Now, this occurs when you spend money on your credit card and fail to clear the balance at the end of each month. Balances left over are charged interest, and if not handled properly, can quickly spiral out of control. Now, if you find yourself in this situation, this is where a balance transfer card comes in. Similar to the money transfer card we spoke of earlier, the balance cards are designed to help you consolidate and pay off your existing credit card debt more efficiently by allowing you to transfer the outstanding balance from one or more cards onto this new card. The cards often come with a 0% interest period for a set amount of time. And just like before, there is typically a one-time fee associated with these cards, and they are roughly between 2 to 3%. Again, let's use an example to illustrate how this works. Let's say that we have 2 credit cards. Credit card 1 has a balance of £1,000 at 20% APR, and card 2 has a balance of £500 at 18% APR. Now, what you want to do is look for a balance transfer card with a long 0% interest period. In our example, let's say we found one for 18 months at a 2% transfer fee. Again, looking at comparison sites via Google can be a good way to find deals. And remember to always rank high in the eligibility checker before applying. Once the account has been opened, you can transfer the funds from the balance card to credit card 1 and credit card 2, paying the one-time fee of £30 and closing down both cards. Now, instead of getting regular fees, we have an 18-month period to clear the credit card debt. And just like with the money transfer cards, the 0% period is only applied to the transferred balance. If you use the card to spend more money, interest will be charged, and this is typically higher than regular cards. So I will reiterate, you want to avoid doing this under any circumstances. But what if you need more time? So we've covered 2 great tools of tackling overdraft and credit card debt. But what if you do need more time than the initial 0% period allows? Don't panic. You can often transfer the remaining balance from your current money or balance transfer cards to another balance transfer card, essentially restarting that 0% clock. This will of course incur another transfer fee, but depending on the remaining balance, it often still is more cost effective than paying for the standard interest rates. Now, while this sounds like a great safety net, a word of caution. Just because you can extend the 0% period doesn't mean you should rely on it. There are 2 key reasons why. And the first one is the approval for getting another card isn't guaranteed. If your credit score has taken a bit of a hit, getting approved for subsequent balance transfer cards becomes increasingly difficult. So don't treat this as a guaranteed fallback plan. And then the second reason why is that faster payments is always better. Clearing debt as quickly as possible should always be your top priority. While extending the 0% period can be helpful in some situations, it is best to aim to clear the debt within the initial timeframe. Now, this might mean making more aggressive adjustments to your budget for a few months, but trust me, your future self will thank you. Cool, so that is it for this week's video. There are, of course, other ways to clear overdraft and credit card debt, but these are the 2 best ways in my opinion. If you can name any other, please put them in the comment section down below. And of course, if you do have any questions, let me know down below as well. And remember to like and subscribe. Bye.